Boston boils over checkpoint. First thing, just out of curiosity, there's no judgment on this. Did you watch my YouTube review video to help study? Yes or no? Click, boom, great, move forward. Question 1, the stuff that matters. What is the best example of a petition? Stopping to buy all British items because you do not want to support the Stamp Act? Writing a letter to the editor of the Boston Gazette complaining about British troops in the colonies? Or C, writing a letter with citizen signatures and sending it to Parliament asking them to remove all British troops? Remember, I'm going to move quick because you can pause at any point. Number 2, what was the cause of the Boston Massacre? King George III passed the Navigation Acts. Colonists were frustrated with the presence of British troops in Boston. British troops shot at colonists outside the customs office. That was the cause. Question 3, what was a result of the Boston Massacre? British troops were sent to the colonies to protect tax collectors. More colonists began to disagree with British rule. Colonists started a fight with British troops. We then moved on to the Tea Act. Number 4, which statement best describes colonial frustration with the Tea Act? This is the question that is pretty much asking, why did we put the Tea Act in the teapot? Why was this something that we got upset about? A, the tax raised the price of colonial tea. B, colonists were upset about the cost of the tea. C, colonial leaders did not vote on the law. So then we get into review of the Sons and Daughters of Liberty. 5, are they A, organized peaceful and violent protests against British actions? B, protected tax collectors against unruly colonial protesters? Or C, started the French and Indian War in hopes of gaining independence for the colonies? The Intolerable Acts. 6. They're listed there: the Boston Port Act, Massachusetts Government Act, Administration of Justice Act, Quartering Act, Quebec Act. You learned them in different names, but that's okay. The Intolerable Acts were A, meant to punish the city of Boston for the Boston Tea Party. B, meant to punish colonists for having colonial legislatures. Or C, meant to punish the city of Boston for the Boston Massacre. 7. One of the most hated parts of the Intolerable Acts was the Quartering Act. Describe the Quartering Act. Bostonians had to pay a quarter tax on all business transactions. Bostonians were forced to house British soldiers and provide them food. Bostonians were required to move to northeast Boston so the British could check the city for weapons. This kind of brings it all together. 8. How did the Stamp Act, Tea Act, Intolerable Acts encourage American colonists to consider revolution against British rule? A, by ignoring American representatives in Parliament on issues of taxes levied in the American colonies. B, by raising taxes in the American colonies without granting the colonies any representation in Parliament. Or C, by representing an effort in Britain to end the system of mercantilism. Just have to read slowly on that one. You know the answer, but you just have to read slowly. 9, define propaganda. Vocab. Approval to do something, to get rid of or take away. Biased communication intended to persuade. Which one of those is propaganda? 10, practice of what we did yesterday. Which of the following newspaper headlines would have been created by patriots about the Intolerable Acts? A, colonists' illegal actions caused Parliament to police Boston. B, colonists' rights taken away through abusive and unfair policies in Boston. C, Britain responds to colonial actions with new laws. One of those would be by the Patriots, one by loyalists and the British, one is neutral. I need you to click on which one would have been created by patriots. The extra credit, British troops would go to dinner at which famous present-day restaurant? McDonald's, Red Lobster, Chipotle, Olive Garden, KFC.